Alrighty, let's talk Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. As a movie, what did I think of the movie? Long, thought it was long. I'm going to cover three things. Let's cover three things in this. Some spoilers probably ahead, but I'm pretty sure if you're watching reviews, you don't really care too much about spoilers. Okay, one of the bugbears for me in the movie was the daughter relationship. So he's gone on this last job. The last jobs are always going to end in disaster. So he's gone on this last job, got himself caught, 2 years in jail, comes back, and then his daughter disowns him. And the reason is she's been fed lies by the guy that escaped, who it turns out was the one that orchestrated for them to get captured. Now, it's not like she was 3 when he disappeared and he's turned up 10 years later when she's 13 and she's had all this time to actually not even remember who he was, and then how dare you come into my life trying to, like, that would be understandable. In this case, it's like, let's just say she was 11 and now she's 13. Yep. So she already knew who her father was and they already had this relationship and everything, and then 2 years later she's like, I don't want to know who you are because that bloke told me some stuff. And it's like, interfering third parties, someone else is telling you something and you're believing it. But I kind of felt that, as I don't know if she really would have dissed her father that much after that period of time, knowing that he was actually in jail at the time. Anyway, having said that, could the movie have been shorter? Hell yeah. The gathering of the walking stick, which turned out to not be a walking stick, that whole scene with the little miniature guy and everything, cut it out. Be gone. The side quest of the helmet, while interesting in its own right, and there was some entertaining aspects of that little side quest, the guy who hid the helmet, he's the one who ended up picking it up out of the hiding hole and giving it to them anyway. And that whole quest underground to that hidey hole, he could have just done that himself because he knew exactly where it was. He didn't need to try and explain to everyone how complicated it was to cross a particular bridge. He's the only one that knew. He could have just gone and got it and then come back and everything would have been hunky-dory. But then we would have missed out on all the entertaining aspect, I suppose. So that would have been a way to cut the movie down, but we would have missed out on some entertaining aspects. Now, even though the movie was long, I didn't find myself looking at my watch or anything like that. I don't wear a watch. But looking at the time, wondering how much longer has this got to go, I was just entertained by the movie. So it's longer than normal runtime, didn't really seem to bother me too much at all. So the third thing is the Red Witch. Everyone is presuming she is the most powerful in the movie because she's the last one to be defeated, and I guess some way, shape or form. And that leads me to another question that I have. But what is forgotten, and the characters in the movie don't know this because she did it in secret, but she was taking her lead from somebody else. So she was having her little witchy conversations with, you would presume, someone higher than her who was getting her to do all of this stuff, which means who was that person? Aha, we don't know. We might have to meet that one in a sequel. Now, having said that, the idea that I'm going to flood this area with red mist and turn everyone into a psychopath who's going to be doing my bidding as an army, well, that had already been done in the past, and it kind of made me think, well, where is that army? That army of psychopaths from the past, where are they? What happened to them? Did they all just die? Did they break free of the spell? Did they just kill each other? To me, that wasn't really answered, and what she hoped to gain as well. She hoped to gain control over these people, but for what end Was she going to try and conquer the rest of the world? Or, like, it might have been explained in the movie, but over my head, all done too quick at that point. Now, I know some people complained with the trailers that the men were made to be wimpy and weak and stupid. And if you want to look carefully at that, you'd say, yeah, look, the black wizard, whatever the hell he was a little bit of a goofball. And Chris Pine was a little bit of a goofball, a little bit of an idiot, didn't have much skills or whatever. But it's not really something that stood out to me in the movie, because it was more like they are the characters that are being played. And if they were going to play something else, like what is old mate here, what's Chris going to play? Like He-Man or something? Or we've already got one, or we've already got a couple. We've already got a few good fighters. So suddenly then you start not needing other characters. And what is he going to be, a magical super dude fighter, as well as the guy that comes up with plans, and comes up with plans when those plans that he makes fails, even though he doesn't make plans that fail? So I didn't be bothered. I wasn't bothered by this idea that the men are made to be worthless and weak and the women are all super strong and really cool and everything like that. It's not really anything that stood out to me in the movie that warranted anything special. It just all seemed to fit naturally within the movie to me. Anyway, should you buy it? Should you go watch it? Look, I've got doubts on that one. If you're into fantasy and things like that, sure, I wouldn't pay full price ticket for it. Yeah, it's like, I don't even think I'd buy this on Blu-ray. I'd personally probably just wait for it to be on streaming. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability for me. I've watched Lord of the Rings probably 20 times. But this is like one and done. I'm happy with it. I don't need to see it again. But if you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments below.